Right, so get ready, because today we are doing a deep dive into, well, something I bet you have in your pantry right now.
Baking soda.
Baking soda, that's right.
Now, we're not talking about, making your fridge smell better or those volcanoes from elementary school science class. We're going way beyond that.
We are.
We're talking medical marvels.
Yeah, it really is fascinating. Baking soda, such an everyday item, but there's actually been some pretty surprising research on its medical applications.
Yeah.
And we've got a whole stack of sources here, everything from medical texts to cookbooks, even research by a doctor who uses bicarbonate to treat cancer.
Wait, baking soda and cancer.
Yeah.
All right, now you've got my attention. But before we get into all that, our cookbook sources are really emphasizing baking soda's role in, baking. They explain how it reacts with acidic ingredients to create lift in cakes. It helps control the acidity in recipes, and it can even weaken gluten to make those super soft cookies we all love.
But then one of the medical sources kind of throws in this curveball. They talk about a patient using baking soda to soothe a sore throat and actually finding relief.
It's true, and I think that anecdote really highlights how baking soda's simple chemistry can have kind of these unexpected effects. It all really comes back to this concept of pH, which is how acidic or alkaline something is.
So is this like the whole alkaline diet trend I keep hearing about?
It is related, yeah. A lot of factors in modern life, especially our typical Western diet, can actually tip our bodies toward a state of chronic acidosis, meaning our systems are too acidic.
Okay, and that's bad.
It can be. It can be.
How bad are we talking?
Well, our medical sources are suggesting links between chronic acidosis and, a whole range of issues. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis.
Whoa. Okay, so that's a pretty serious list.
Yeah.
So where does baking soda fit into all of this?
So baking soda, which is chemically known as sodium bicarbonate, it acts as a buffer in the body. So think of it like a neutralizer. It helps bring your body back into balance by counteracting excess acid.
Okay, so baking soda balances things out. But how does that actually translate to treating something like cancer?
So there's a researcher, Dr. Tullio Simoncini, and we have his work here. He's a little controversial, but his book really delves into this idea that cancer thrives in acidic environments. His theory is that sodium bicarbonate can actually make the body less hospitable to tumors by making it more alkaline.
So it's not that the baking soda is attacking the cancer directly. It's more about changing the environment.
That's the general idea. Now it's a provocative idea. And while it's not fully accepted by mainstream medicine, there is some research that suggests bicarbonate can play kind of a supportive role in cancer treatment. For instance, one source pointed out that bicarbonate is actually included in standard chemotherapy regimens pretty often, but not to fight the cancer cells directly. It's more to protect the kidneys from the toxicity of the chemo drugs.
Interesting. So even conventional medicine is using baking soda in some capacity. What else are our sources saying about its potential benefits?
Well, there's some pretty intriguing information about its role in oral health. You might have heard about people brushing with baking soda, and there's actually science behind that.
Wait, seriously? I always thought that was just an old wives' tale.
Nope, it's backed by research. Baking soda can neutralize the acids in plaque, that stuff that builds up on your teeth and causes cavities. It can even help prevent plaque formation in the first place.
So a little baking soda could be good for my pearly whites.
It can be, yeah. Just remember, moderation is key with this. Baking soda can be abrasive on your enamel if you overdo it.
Okay, good to know. Duly noted. But back to this whole body chemistry thing. If baking soda is our hero here, does it have a sidekick?
It does, and it's a mineral that's often overlooked. Magnesium. Our sources highlight how magnesium and sodium bicarbonate work synergistically to regulate pH in the body. They're like a dynamic duo, keeping acidity in check.
Magnesium, huh? Isn't that what people take for leg cramps?
That is one of its many roles. Magnesium is involved in literally hundreds of bodily processes, from regulating blood sugar to building strong bones. The problem is, magnesium deficiency is incredibly common, especially in the Western world.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What are some signs you might be low on magnesium?
Well, it can be tricky. The symptoms are often subtle: fatigue, muscle aches, trouble sleeping, even anxiety. But because magnesium is so crucial for so many functions, even a slight deficiency can really impact your whole system.
This is making me wonder if I need more magnesium. So how do you boost your levels? Just pop a pill?
Well, supplements are one way. But one of our sources, Dr. Norman Shealy, he's done a lot of research on something called transdermal magnesium, which basically means applying magnesium through the skin.
Like a magnesium lotion or something.
Exactly. Dr. Shealy believes that applying it this way allows for better absorption, especially for people who have trouble absorbing nutrients through their gut.
Interesting. So baking soda for a sore throat, magnesium lotion for aches and pains. Are we building a natural medicine cabinet here?
In a way, yes. But our sources are really pointing to something bigger than just individual remedies. They're emphasizing a holistic approach to health, where things like sodium bicarbonate and magnesium are tools within a broader strategy.
Holistic, huh? That sounds a little new agey.
You know, it's not about crystals and incense. It's really about understanding that true health isn't just about treating symptoms. It's about creating an internal environment that supports well-being on every level: physical, mental, and emotional.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. So where do we go from here? What else do our sources reveal about this holistic approach?
Well, one of the most important aspects that they emphasize is diet. We've already talked about how the typical Western diet is very acidic.
Yeah, all that processed food, sugar, and not enough veggies, I'm guilty as charged.
Well, shifting toward a more alkaline diet, rich in fruits and vegetables and whole grains, is really key.
Okay, eat more greens, got it.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, they also talk about the importance of managing stress and reducing your exposure to toxins. Both of those can contribute to that acidic internal environment we're trying to avoid.
Reduce stress, avoid toxins. It sounds like we're talking about a major lifestyle overhaul here.
It can feel overwhelming, but even small changes can make a big difference. Things like filtering your water, choosing organic produce when you can, and being mindful of the personal care products you use can all help to reduce your toxic load.
All right, I'm starting to get the picture. Balanced pH, mindful diet, less stress, fewer toxins. But you know, some of our sources also mention these other forgotten remedies. What's that all about?
That's what's so intriguing about this deep dive. If simple things like baking soda and magnesium have such potential, what other natural remedies might be out there just waiting to be rediscovered?
Okay, you've got me hooked. But before we go on a treasure hunt for forgotten remedies, I want to hear more about magnesium and its benefits.
Let's dive into that next. Our sources highlight some really fascinating research on magnesium's role in hormone production, insulin sensitivity, and even DNA synthesis. It's a truly remarkable mineral.
All right, magnesium deep dive, here we come. All right, so we've established that magnesium is pretty important stuff. What else do your sources say about why we need it?
Well, one really fascinating area is magnesium's role in hormone production, specifically DHEA.
DHEA, refresh my memory.
Yeah, so it's a hormone that's involved in all sorts of things, mood and energy levels, immune function, stress response. And guess what? Magnesium is absolutely crucial for its production.
So if I'm feeling stressed and sluggish, could low magnesium be the culprit?
It's definitely possible. Our sources really emphasize that even a slight magnesium deficiency can have this ripple effect on your entire system.
Okay, I'm officially on the magnesium bandwagon. We talked about transdermal magnesium earlier. Why is that application method so beneficial?
Well, as Dr. Shealy's research suggests, it bypasses the digestive system, which can be really helpful for people who have trouble absorbing magnesium through their gut. Plus, it allows for targeted application, so you can apply it directly to areas where you're experiencing pain or discomfort.
So you can use it for things like muscle cramps or sore joints.
Exactly. And some people even find that transdermal magnesium has this calming, relaxing effect.
Ooh, like a spa treatment in a bottle. But our sources aren't just touting the benefits of these individual substances, right? There's this bigger picture here.
Absolutely. This deep dive keeps circling back to this idea of a holistic approach to health. It's not just about popping supplements or slathering on lotions. It's about creating an environment within your body that fosters well-being on all levels.
So it's about more than just what we put in our bodies.
Exactly. Our sources are saying we need to consider what we put on our bodies, too. Remember that conversation about reducing exposure to toxins? Well, a lot of those toxins come from the everyday products we use. Personal care products, cleaning supplies, even our clothes.
So reading labels and making conscious choices about the products we use, that could be just as important as eating our veggies.
Absolutely. It's all connected. Our skin is our largest organ, and what we put on it can be absorbed into our bloodstream.
Okay, this is a lot to take in, but it's also empowering, If simple changes like switching to natural cleaning products can make a difference, then we actually have some control over our health.
That's the key takeaway here. Knowledge is power. The more you understand about how your body works and what factors influence your health, the more empowered you are to make choices that support your well-being.
I love that. So it's not about being perfect, it's about being informed and making conscious choices. But speaking of choices, let's go back to that surprising fact about carbon dioxide potentially being good for us. How can something we exhale be beneficial?
It is definitely counterintuitive, right? We think of carbon dioxide as a waste product, something we need to get rid of. But our sources really highlight its role in maintaining that crucial pH balance we keep talking about.
Okay, remind me how that works again.
So when we breathe, we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. That exchange is essential for life. But what often gets overlooked is that carbon dioxide is also needed for a whole range of bodily functions, including regulating blood flow and delivering oxygen to our cells.
Wait, so carbon dioxide actually helps oxygenate our cells?
It does. It acts like a key, unlocking the oxygen from hemoglobin in our red blood cells so it can be released to our tissues.
That's incredible. So are we saying we need more carbon dioxide?
Not necessarily. It's all about balance. You know, our sources suggest that modern lifestyles, with all the stress and shallow breathing, may actually lead to chronically low levels of carbon dioxide, which can have a cascade of negative effects on our health.
Okay, I'm starting to understand. So how do we make sure we have enough carbon dioxide without, holding our breath?
Well, some of our sources advocate for practices like breath work, which involve conscious, controlled breathing patterns.
Breath work, like meditation, but for your lungs.
Exactly. And even simple things like slowing down your breathing, taking deeper breaths, and being more mindful of your breath throughout the day can make a difference.
All right, I'm adding breathe deeper to my to-do list. But I have to ask, if something as basic as carbon dioxide can have such a profound impact on our health, what else are we missing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This deep dive is just scratching the surface. There's a whole world of natural remedies and simple practices that could hold the key to better health.
This is making me think about all those old wives' tales and folk remedies that have been passed down through generations. Could there be some truth to them?
That's entirely possible. As science advances, we may find that some of those traditional remedies have a solid basis in biology and chemistry. It's a fascinating area to explore.
Okay, I'm officially on a mission to rediscover those forgotten health secrets. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's circle back to baking soda. We talked about its potential benefits for cancer and oral health. But what about its use in conventional medicine? One of our sources mentioned something about chemotherapy.
That's right. One of our sources, a medical textbook dedicated to sodium bicarbonate, discusses how it's become a standard component of many chemotherapy regimens.
Wait, really? So even conventional oncologists are using baking soda?
They are, but not in the way you might think. It's not about directly attacking cancer cells. Instead, sodium bicarbonate is used to protect the kidneys from the damaging side effects of the chemo drugs.
So it's like a shield for your organs during chemo. That's incredible.
It is. Chemotherapy drugs can be extremely toxic to the kidneys. And sodium bicarbonate helps to neutralize that toxicity, allowing patients to tolerate higher doses of chemo.
That's amazing. It's like baking soda is this secret weapon in the fight against cancer, even in conventional medicine.
It really highlights the versatility of sodium bicarbonate, and it underscores how much we still don't know about the full potential of this simple substance. It's like we're just scratching the surface.
Okay, I'm officially convinced that baking soda deserves a place in everyone's medicine cabinet. But before we wrap up, there's one more thing I want to touch on.
I'm all ears.
Several of our sources mention this really interesting concept, this idea that carbon dioxide might actually be good for us.
It's definitely a concept that challenges conventional thinking. We're so used to hearing about carbon dioxide as a pollutant, as something harmful. But the truth is, it's a vital part of our physiology.
Okay, explain this to me. How can something we exhale be good for us?
Well, remember how we talked about the importance of pH balance? Carbon dioxide plays a key role in that balance.
Okay, I'm following it.
When we breathe, we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. This exchange is essential for life. But what's often overlooked is that carbon dioxide is also needed for a whole range of bodily functions.
So it's essential for breathing, but what other roles does carbon dioxide play?
Well, for one, it helps regulate blood flow. When your carbon dioxide levels are low, your blood vessels constrict, which can lead to reduced blood flow to vital organs.
Interesting. So more carbon dioxide, more relaxed blood vessels, better circulation.
Exactly. And carbon dioxide is also involved in oxygen delivery to cells. It's like a key that unlocks the oxygen from the hemoglobin in your red blood cells, allowing it to be released into the tissues where it's needed.
Whoa, so carbon dioxide helps our cells breathe. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is, and this is why some of our sources advocate for practices like breath work, and even simply being more mindful of our breathing patterns. They argue that modern lifestyles, with their emphasis on stress and shallow breathing, lead to chronically low levels of carbon dioxide, which can have a cascade of negative effects on our health.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense, but it also raises a really intriguing question. If something as basic as carbon dioxide can have such profound effects on our health, what else are we missing? What other simple, natural solutions might be out there just waiting to be rediscovered?
That's the beauty of these deep dives. They're not just about learning new facts, they're about sparking curiosity, challenging assumptions, and opening ourselves up to new possibilities. Who knows what other treasures are hidden in plain sight? Maybe there's an amazing health-boosting substance right there in your spice rack.
I love that. So dear listeners, as you go forth, armed with the knowledge of baking soda, magnesium, and the surprising power of carbon dioxide, remember to keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep an open mind.
Remember, the journey to better health is a lifelong adventure, and the most important tool you have is your own curiosity.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you to dive deeper into these fascinating topics on your own. Until next time, fellow explorers, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.